All right, everyone, please welcome Logan Darnell. Logan is the newest member of the Uni-President Alliance of the CPBL. Logan, thanks for taking the time.
Oh, appreciate for having me.
So before we talk about your time with your new team in Taiwan now, can you tell us a little bit about your baseball background, how you ended up in the CPBL and your major league experience?
Yeah, I played college baseball at the University of Kentucky and played there for 3 years, and then got drafted by Minnesota, which is the team that I made my major league debut with. And just played, 10 years in the States and played in Venezuela and Mexico and the DR, and then just had the opportunity through a guy named Jerry that had been, he's my agent now, but he contacted me with the team and they got me over.
That's pretty cool. And I did want to mention your major league debut. The local broadcast seemed to have a little fun with it here. I don't know if you can see this graphic here, but they had 3 things you need to know about Logan Darnell. It was voted worst dressed in AAA, sings in the car all the time, and can't grow a mustache. Can you tell me a little bit about what was going on in this graphic here?
Yeah, so one of my best friends that I played with in the minor leagues there, Ryan Presley, thought it would be funny to tell that to a reporter. But I mean, as far as the singing in the car, I do love to sing in the car. Worst dressed was, I don't know what he was really thinking about that, because I think I was probably one of the best dressed guys on the team.
Fair.
I guess that's just a form of an opinion. And yeah, my mustache it's subpar at best, but it's one of those things where, even though it's a terrible look, I still rock it a lot. And if you zoom into the picture, you can see I have the mustache. I'm rocking it as hard as I can. It's tough though. I mean, it's tough.
I could imagine, but I got to ask, what's your favorite song to sing in the car? What do you jam out to?
I'm a big 90s country, growing up in Nashville, country music capital of the world. I'll get after some country music. Garth Brooks was one of my favorites. There's a guy named Drake White who's an up and coming newer guy that I really like, who's not like huge yet, but I'm a big fan of his.
Did you like country Taylor Swift back when she was country and her roots? Were you a fan?
Yeah, I mean, Taylor Swift, she's around the same age as me. I was a fan of her songwriting more so than her music, I think, because she was a good songwriter in Nashville and she wrote most of her songs at the beginning. Yeah, I was a fan for sure. I wouldn't say she was one of my top,
Yeah, of course.
But she was good.
Now mainstream, of course, but did have those country roots to begin with. So,
yeah.
Kind of speaking of music, I imagine you'd had a lot of time to listen to some music now under quarantine. I believe you just got out of that with the Lions. Can you tell us a little bit about that quarantine? Did you just get to Taiwan 2 weeks ago? What was your journey like physically getting over there under quarantine?
I got to Taiwan and I flew into Taipei, drove straight to the hotel and spent 14 days straight there, and that was tough. I thought I would be able to, watch Netflix, play video games, read some books, try to be constructive, work out. And after 3 or 4 days of that, it's like, I'm bored of this and I can't do it. And then there's nothing else to do. It's tough. It is tough.
Yes, we're having that here. Being in San Francisco, we still have the shelter in place in order here. I got to ask, what was your go-to Netflix show? Were you watching The Office? A little Jim and Pam action? What were you thinking?
So I watched the show Waco that's new on Netflix. Okay. Pretty good. I watched The Outer Banks, which is like a big, everybody's kind of talking about that. The Office, is always one of those, go to if you're bored shows, just because you can put it on in the background. But yeah, and I listened to a couple podcasts. I got about like 10 episodes in and Bussin' with the Boys, which is a Barstool Sports podcast. It's hilarious. And I'm from Nashville, and Taylor Lewan's a Tennessee Titans player. So like, you enjoy listening to that kind of thing when you're from there.
Mm-hmm. And then I got to ask a little bit too, what was like when you were under quarantine with Netflix? Were you on the Tiger King bandwagon there a little bit? Were you watching?
I was on the bandwagon. I watched it before I got here, but man, okay. that was something else.
The roller coaster. Following along on social media.
About that, Yeah, that's something else right there. I mean, it was obviously a good watch. I mean, it was so bizarre, but I just can't wrap my mind around something like that.
Definitely something very crazy. And Carol Baskin now,
Yeah,
cultural villain now. So,
for sure, for sure.
but I've asked a lot of the other guys about kind of exploring the city, but it sounds like that doesn't really apply for you. Have you been able to see anything, or just pretty much just reading about it on Google
No, so
Maps?
like today, well, yesterday was my first day out, so I went to the field and I took the train back to the dorm. But like today is is an off day, so I'm gonna go throw and get my workout done, and then I'm gonna try to explore. But I haven't yet, and I don't know really what to expect until it happens.
And it's kind of along those same lines. I can't imagine you've had too much interaction with the robot mannequin fans and kind of that different baseball culture. Do you see them
Yeah.
when you worked out today?
I saw them yesterday, but I haven't seen them up close. Or I've got to see them on TV, kind of like most people have. But just in the quarantine watching the games, but I haven't seen them in person.
And do you think you can mentally handle that? I know that the Rakuten, they get pretty crazy with the drummers and the mannequins. Do you think you can handle that?
I know. Well, you know what they say, if you can handle, I guess, robots, you can handle human beings, I guess. But yeah, it's crazy.
And I understand you were just announced by the team. I think it was yesterday or today. What was the welcome process like? Did you meet a lot of teammates? Because I understand they also didn't want you to take interviews before that process.
Yeah, I mean, it was one of those things where I felt like they were trying to keep it close to their chest, and they weren't really trying to, make it public. But it was good meeting the guys, meeting the manager. I talked to a few people in the press, and got to work out with the guys, and it was all good.
And another thing we've been talking to a lot of guys about is food. How adventurous have you been with the food? I know under quarantine, what were they giving you? I'm not sure. Were they giving you a lot of variety in the room delivery, or what was that like?
I mean, the food's been okay. I mean, the rice and the chicken is obviously a staple. Like the little packets of food they give you. I stuck with my breakfast was usually like a Starbucks, maybe like a McDonald's hash brown, like regular American style breakfast. But I tried to venture out for like lunch and dinner. Some of the times on Uber Eats, I didn't really know what I was ordering. I just kind of saw the picture and went with it, which was kind of a trial and error thing. But it's been pretty good so far.
A little Uber Eats roulette there. I like that. Just going by the image.
Just throwing the dice and seeing what happens.
See what shows up. I like that. And kind of along those same lines as well. What do you have with you? I wanted just to ask, like, do you have a lot of clothing? Is that all you have? Do you have a car with you? What do you have just as a baseball player from the States in Taiwan now?
Yeah, so like here, I'm sitting right here. This is my go-to. Like, this is a briefcase with a TV and a PS4.
I've heard of these. Yeah, it's portable.
Yeah, in quarantine, that legit got me through. Don't get me wrong. After I played 5 or 6 hours a day, I was over it. But that's probably, I mean, clothes, obviously. But other than that, that's like the only thing I really have that's like noteworthy. But yeah, my baseball gear.
Yeah, I imagine you got pretty good then at PS4. What game were you playing?
So I'm a big Red Dead Redemption guy. I've been playing the storyline on that. Madden, I like. There's a game called Rocket League that I play with my buddies back home.
Yes.
Usually I'd have to get up at like 8 or 9 in the morning to play them just because it's 12 hours difference. But that's usually my go-to, or those couple games are.
And now kind of transitioning back to baseball, there's rumors now that Manny Ramirez wants to make a comeback in the league. He was there with the Rhinos before, now the Guardians. What would it be like facing him? I think he's 48 years old now or something like that. Do you think you could strike him out, or what would that be like?
I mean, do I think I can strike him out? I think I can. Will I or would I? I don't know. It's just, I mean, obviously you throw the pitch and he either hits it or he doesn't. I think it would be fun. I mean, obviously it would be a good, publicity thing for the league to have a guy like that has his, background of being a great player in the States for a long time and being kind of the name of a big organization like the Red Sox. It would be fun, no doubt. it's just, I mean, it's one of those things where it's not my decision. It's hard. It would be cool to me, obviously, like to see him play, and to be around him. But it's just those, whether he will or not, it's just there's a lot in other people's hands of what's going to actually happen.
So we're going to put you down as saying you will strike out Manny Ramirez. We're going to tweet that out. That's going to be the clip now.
I would say, I don't know if I could say that. I don't strike many people out as it is, so, but you never know. But yeah, I think it'd be awesome. I mean, the guy has a great career, and there's no doubt he can still do it. If you've done it for that long at that high a level, I mean, you probably never lose it.
For sure, and hopefully he will be in the league very soon, kind of as a mid-season pickup. And kind of going back to your teammates, I know you just introduced very recently, but have you had a chance to kind of build any camaraderie? Have you sensed the language barrier? Is that difficult right now?
Yeah, I mean, the language barrier's tough, but we have a good translator here, and just yesterday of meeting a lot of the guys, I mean, it seems like the camaraderie in the clubhouse is good here. A lot of guys having fun, enjoying the game. Obviously, we didn't get the win yesterday, but I think things are going in the right direction for sure.
I like it. And final question, I want to ask about potentially playing on ESPN. ESPN is looking to potentially acquire the broadcasting rights. Do you think you could maybe adjust your pitching routine to pitch at 8:30 in the morning or something like that if they wanted to align the schedule with Eastern time? A lot of guys have said no, that they could not change their routines, their creature habits. Do you think you could adjust to play in front of that American audience?
It's funny because, like, do I think pitching that early is hard for a guy that's done routinely, a starting pitcher so used to throwing at, 6:37 that they can get their routine down of eating breakfast, lunch. Like, guys get in those routines. Yeah, it'd be tough. But at the same time, like, when somebody pays you, you almost are you would do what you're told. I mean, if they said, hey, this is what's going to happen, you almost have to. There's not like there's a players union and this and that here. It's just, it is what it is. You make an adjustment just like you make an adjustment during a game just to try to figure it out. But it would be a difficult thing. I've never liked throwing in day games as it is, which are like 11, 12 o'clock games. Those are even tough. But I mean, you just make an adjustment and you do the best you can, and then that's what it is.
Well, Logan, thanks for taking the time. Really appreciate it. Sharing some perspective on what it's like being a professional pitcher now under COVID in the CPBL. And I wish you the best of luck now. You're free from quarantine. You're ready to get on that bump. Best of luck with the season.
Sure. Well, thanks for having me, man.
Really appreciate it, and stay safe.
Thanks. You too, man.